Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Season 11. We're here with Round 1. It's a brand new day for the Sim Racing Alliance. It's going to be a little bit more punishing out here during qualifying.
It's definitely a hard one here. It's what it's like. It's very, very punishing.
For all the way in Germany, this will be the first time we see this in the team series here. This is a track where you will be driving the track, not as much driving the drivers on the track.
Very brave is the Ferrari to get the move done.
He does get this position done.
Oh, huge contact, and they're both going to go around. It's going to be a huge move up the inside.
He's been using every bit of the track.
Pedal to the metal, foot to the floor.
And we're off and away for SRA.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first race of Season 12 for Division 2. I have Sam and Bosley in the booth with me tonight.
Hello.
Hello.
So, what do you guys think of this coming up? What are we looking forward to?
I mean, the expectation for Div 2 is always pretty high. Usually it's pretty clean racing, but it is the first race of the season, and Paul Ricard tends to shut down if you go a little bit too aggressive in a few places. So we'll see what they did if they practiced enough in the off season.
Yep. Power Card usually produces some good racing. We had some good racing last night across the division, so hopefully we get a good show tonight as well.
Yeah, I think the special thing about Paul Ricard is, the way to set up an overtake is going to be very interesting to watch. If people can really get out of turn 6 and 7, if people can really get out of 12 and 13. So at least in this race, there's a few places you can sort of just key in to watch the things happen. Otherwise, as you're following someone around the more technical spots, it's sort of a, follow and wait.
Well, let's look at the track map here and see what we get to look forward to. Fine gentlemen would like to walk us through.
I mean, I can take it. I usually do, but Fazli, if you're up for it, you can go too, if you want.
Go for it.
Cool. Stop me because I go way too in depth on these. But we'll just start back with what I mentioned. The longest straight in the freaking world is obviously in this, and then the main straight. Those are the two we're definitely gonna be watching out for as far as passing zones. But of course, like I mentioned, turn 6 and 7 and turn 12, 13 area is where you're actually gonna watch the beginning of what's going to happen on those straights, because it's all about how you come out of those turns if you're going to be able to make the overtake. Now, the end of the main straight obviously is the chicane, and that is difficult to maintain too wide, or 3, however many you're going to want to go through. Of course, try to go 3 or 4 on the first lap. That's always best. But that's the thing that is going to be very dangerous, is that turn 1, 2 as far as overtakes go. Whereas going through the big right-hand sweeper down at the end of the Mistral, you're going to have a lot more space to sort of run out wide and even, cut a curb here or there to try to keep in. But as far as the technical spots go, that's going to be probably a matter of more who's running more downforce versus who's trying to be a little bit faster on the straights. And the cars do have some advantages and disadvantages here, assuming we have the VOP tonight. And then the final thing I'll just want to say about this track is that you know what, I just forgot the final thing I want to say, and it slipped my mind as soon as I thought about it. So there's nothing. You guys can think nothing about this track. It's not special.
Yeah, all I can say is there's a couple of set up the car on this track. Some people prefer to go with low downforce, maximizing the straight, the very long straight there. I personally last night ran with maximum downforce in my AMR for a couple of different reasons, but no overtaking down the straight, but I can definitely made a bunch of moves down to turn 8, 9, and 10. So lots of different things you can do here. It'll be interesting with it's a mandatory tire change, so we expect most people to start heading into the pits. I would say probably around 36 minutes to 30 minutes. We'll see how that plays out.
I did remember what I was going to say, actually, because I got one yesterday. Is drive-throughs. There's so much curb to overrun. There's so much flat spot. It makes it so easy to be on the limit and go out wide. But if you get more than 3 warnings, which I got before the half of the lap or half of the race yesterday, which is always fun, you're going to get a drive-through. And yeah, if the pack is tight, it'll ruin your race. If not, maybe not the worst thing if half the pack also gets drive-throughs. So, you gotta kind of cross your fingers and hope if you're the one on the misfit side of the driving.
All right, well, with further ado, I'm going to hop over to what's going on track as our silver drivers have just started their qualifying. That's the word I'm looking for.
So something I like looking at when they're qualifying is the hot lap for the week. In the season 12 Paul Ricard hot lapping, I always tend to lose, and it certainly looks like there's a bit of a mix between gold and silver drivers and where they hot lapped. And so what that tells me is that there's probably people that practiced more or less. And also you never know who gold and silver may swap up and down. What it does show me, though, is that with the exception of Victor Diaz there at the top in the McLaren at a 153.5, the rest of the cars, I guess there's another McLaren, but the rest of the cars in the top 10 are pretty heavy hitters with BMWs and Mustangs and the GTR. That is 7 of the top 10 are those, big front engine, high power, go down the straight and crush everybody cars. So something to be looking out for this race.
Yep, and the silver drivers are starting the first laps. We're watching Jess Osborne entering turn 1 right now. You can see everybody making space, queuing up at the final section of the lap to make some space. Jess actually parking the car completely.
I think we're definitely looking for a low 154 for the average. Maybe a mid 154. There are some people that were on the higher end. I do know a fair number of drivers have been talking about not really being able to string together great laps on this track, despite them being, pretty experienced. It might be, maybe a different car they're trying, or I don't know, but it does seem to be a bit of a mixed bag this week.
So, apologizing for the static. We're going to work on it in the background. So, we'd like to do moments of silence. We're thinking about fixing that. Alright, in the meantime, though, Logan Schaefer has set our first best lap at a 154.8, and he is up on his time, as are many others.
Yeah, 54.8, not bad. Pretty much where we're expecting. It's sure they'll drop down a bit. The other thing to note, though, is, assuming everything is the same throughout the weekend and through mine, the track should be labeled fast right now.
It is.
And not optimum. Okay, so that means these silver drivers might be running slightly slower depending on how they were practicing in the qualifying server. Maybe they had some other people out there to rubber up the track, or maybe not. But yeah, maybe mid to high 54s. But then the gold drivers should have at least a little bit better track to run. There's a nice FAF logo. I was wearing my FAF McLaren shirt while I raced yesterday because my car is also a plaid McLaren this season.
Oh, you're part of the FAF group?
Not whatever this sort of FAF specifically group is, but yeah, I'm one of the FAF fans. Although when they left Porsche, I sort of keep them on the side now, and I switched over to Rexy and AO Racing.
You stopped faffing around.
Yeah, and I started dinosauring around, but I got a Rexy plush, and I'm very happy.
Logan comes across the line. Looks like he improves his time slightly. 54.5. Pretty solid time so far. With the best sector 3.
It doesn't look like anybody is close to that just yet, but night is young.
Well, certainly.
So maybe we can. Yep. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, you know, the people who, you know, have a last lap coming just as they cross the line before the time runs out. A lot of times, those guys were finishing up with fast laps yesterday in my session from silver. I mean.
Yeah, I thought I was being smart last night, and I let everybody else go out, and then I waited half a lap, and then I went out thinking, oh, I'll get, you know, I have a clean track, and everything will be rubbered in, and I'll have a nice fast lap. And turns out I invalidated all my laps except the last one, so I couldn't really push. But that was a little annoying.
So bad. Look at the cars. I mean, McLaren at the front. Yeah. Ford, Nissan, BMW, Audi, BMW, and then we have, I don't know, 5,000 Porsches all in the back. That's just sad.
Yeah, they need to make a Porsche trade and like bump draft each other, make an agreement to just push each other down the straight.
Yeah, I mean, it was really dealing difficult with a couple of Porsches yesterday in the race because even though I would catch up to them on the straight, their ability to hang tightly around the turns that you then accelerate onto those straights was just something I couldn't match. And so I would catch them at the most inopportune time going into those, you know, the end of the Mistral, the end of the main straight, and I'm just not either good enough or trusting enough to really go and do those dives. So it was difficult for me when, you know, those Porsches are driven right. They certainly can take their benefits and use them correctly. What is that livery? Is it just some yellow on the back, or?
It does have the Mustang horse on there. In, the outline. It's just like a color fade effect. Just kind of
interesting. Make it better.
Is it just me, or did the window on the stream get smaller on Twitch? Is anybody else seeing that you're watching? Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Okay.
Good question though. Is there BOP this time?
There is BOP. I checked that. So it is applied. Yeah. Unfortunately. Otherwise you'd see all the, well, fortunately, otherwise you'd see all the Fords and McLarens probably further ahead.
I do wonder if like half the drivers are saying, oh, well, you know, some of the races yesterday didn't have it, so we shouldn't too. And the other half go, oh, no, thank you. Please, you know, make sure we have BOP.
Oh, I feel bad for the Yarans driving the 488 last night with no BOP.
And gold should be out now.
Always blame Martin. Yep. So gold drivers should be going out. Should be on their way out right now. Yep. And silver drivers who are still on track will be finishing up their last laps. So far, low gain. Pips Logan Schaefer. P1 so far. Looks like most of them are done with their qualifying, so not too many still on the track.
Looks like Marvin here is running something with a DHL on his livery, so that is unfortunate. He's going to arrive pretty late to the finish line, I think. And I will make bad puns all night long.
You and me both.
Let's see, who is actually out and why did he just pit? Oh, he's silver. Okay, I thought he was on another lap, but
Landshark.
there looks
Landshark?
like there's still a few.
Does Landshark have a livery? Because I can't see his livery.
Oh, I hope it's Landshark, the beer, as a livery. That'd be great. Or, the 0.0 non-alcoholic beer. Because
Stephanie, if we could move the camera over to someone who's actually on track, it would be nice. She's trying to fix her audio, so we'll look at that car.
Oh, that's a pretty cool.
Okay. That is nice.
I believe typical Chinese, I think. Red being a very popular color
You can
with a
look at
gold
Evan
dragon.
can't
It looks
kill
like.
me. Hi.
How many cars do we have today? 42. Nice.
That is the correct number.
Oh, look at those Lexus liveries. So nice. Nicest Lexus liveries I've ever seen next to the SRA ones.
I really thought they looked like GR, not Supras, but whatever the lower end level was, just as they went around there. They have the very similar, GR red and white, the all black trim. And of course they are from the same basic company. Man, I can't wait till the new Lexus GT3 comes out. That's going to be crazy looking from the snippets we've seen.
Whoa, what's the car behind them? Is that a Mustang? That livery looks great too, I think.
Yeah, it looks like it. Cody Platt, possibly.
Are they all the Champion Motorsports cars in a train?
Hey, wait a minute. This is cheating. We've caught them.
Yes.
Okay, it's cheating, but it is still.
Wow.
That's tight.
It'll be fun if we'll see what happens at the end of the straight.
It looks like they made it. Look at that.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, they did that
Well
as a
done.
team. This is some spec me out at bump drafting right here.
Yeah.
Bet they didn't expect to be on camera while that happened.
Evan and Doug. Is that who it is?
I'm not sure who's the next car because the left side's it's not showing who's
I'm
where.
pretty sure it's Doug, Evan's teammate.
Oh, that's who's the teammate? Okay.
Admin's gonna do admin stuff.
Of course, it's them.
But I hope Doug doesn't get the curse of the Faz livery. I think every season that he uses a livery I made doesn't end up too well for him. This being one of them. So yeah, I made these Champion Motorsports liveries for a few of the cars.
Yeah, look at the difference there in the bump draft and the bump draftee. Can we possibly scroll up on the left to see what he, or I don't know if you guys can see the time that Doug just got.
Time that Doug just got was race control is crap. 156.4 is what it says on mine.
Really?
Really? Was he in front earlier and he pulled over to let Evan go through? Is that what happened, or the other way around?
Well, I thought Evan was
Yeah,
in
'cause-
front considering he's
Okay.
P24, P25 or something. But geez, no, Doug's down in 35. Yeah, that didn't work at all for them. Okay, sure, keep bump drafting. That is a perfectly valid tactic. I think you guys should keep trying it. That's just so bad. Although, I mean, so the Lexus, right, when there's no BOP here, has a ton of power and is really fast down the straight, if I remember correctly, right? So is that thing just hampered a lot more than I'm used to now that I've been driving against it without the BOP?
Sorry, we're almost done. it sounds, from what I understand, it sounds like this whatever the crackling sound was, maybe it's gone away.
It's just electrifying.
It is. It's D2. They're just so. He's right. Electrifying.
Yep.
Like the.
So right now, Logain still has P1 provisionally. Roy Key actually is a 10th off in the McLaren.
There.
So, and Andrew Roy Key is actually improving his time right now too. He's on for P1 if he can hold it together. A bunch of people behind also improving. Rodriguez, Wheeler, Riff, I never know how to say his name.
I just asked him and he didn't answer.
Yeah.
It does look similar to my division yesterday, where somebody who maybe shouldn't be in silver is way up at pole. But also, you know, it doesn't seem that obvious that the track has gotten that much better, at least from the current times.
Right. He looks like he's I believe he's invalidated his lap. So maybe he's just gonna set up for he's got a couple more runs at this if he's got the fuel for it. Damiani currently sitting in P3 is also up. Rife is on the flyer. If he can hold it together, he's on for provisional P1. Currently P5.
That's kind of delivered like that. I'm glad he got that sorted out though.
Yep. It's a nice livery. Rife, his livery almost didn't make it on stream, but he's used his broadcaster privileges to get us to update it, and well, he uploaded it, but it made it here. Anyway, Wheeler makes it up to P1 with the first 53 of the night, 53.9. Rife actually improves right after Wheeler set the time.
Looks like it
he was
probably
about to
took
catch
them
traffic.
more than a lap or two to really warm up their tires, I would bet.
Yeah, further down, a lot of people still out there and improving. We've got Brian Anderson, Victor Diaz, who's currently 8/10 off, is actually improving by 6/10. So that should bring him all the way up at the moment in the top 5.
He's P2 now as he crosses the line.
Yes, and he crosses the line in P2.
And remember, he had the fastest lap during the week for the hot lap with Andrew Rife. We're gonna just go with both of those. Yeah, exactly. We'll just say Andrew. But yeah, he was P2, and Ian Wheeler was P3 for the week. So Wheeler, who is now, you know, in the front, and then Roy Key was P4. It looks like they're all roughly where we would sort of expect. And of course, you have a bit more time to set the best laps. But Victor Diaz was about a half second, actually more than half a second faster in his week practice. So maybe his just missing out a little bit on this, but it's, you know, qualifying P2 isn't that big of a deal here. You know, you're right next to the if I remember correctly, you're on the right, so you might be going around the outside down into the first chicane, but that's not that big of a deal considering how many people in the beginning of a race tend to crash more on the inside, and going around the outside is sometimes the safer maneuver.
And checkered flag for qualifying, so anyone who crosses the line now, that's it for them. Some people have already crossed the line before the flag dropped, so they're on the final lap right now.
Like Damiani is on P1. Time is being over.
Damiani is flying. and he gets P1.
So 153.
Any of these guys up on their final lap?
Roy was up. He's slightly up now, but he's 5 tenths down. He's about a tenth up right now. It's kind of fluctuating. I think he's the only one on a valid lap right now. So we'll watch him to close out his lap, see where he goes at the moment. I mean, he won't get P1, but he can still jump up a few spots into the top 5.
I wonder if the other two will pop into the pit. Some people were using it as a last-second practice yesterday, which is a good idea. You know, if you're not really
Yep.
going to finish, then go and try it.
And that places him exactly in the P5, 4 tenths off. So pretty tight field up here. Damiani out front with 53.7 and Wheeler 53.9. And between P3 to P18, it's like half a second in it. So
Yeah, but are we sure there's a BOP? Ford, McLaren, Nissan. Forget the
yeah.
Ferrari, Ford, McLaren.
Oh,
Anastasi with a Porsche that is 10 places higher than the next one, roughly.
yeah.
Well,
The back of the field is Porsche heavy here.
very. So we can do our best to do a little bit of a walk. We have Damiani and Wheeler in P1 and P2. So it looks like we've got P1, P2, and P3, all sporting a almost very similar livery. P4, Victor Diaz with the Hoonigans there. 5 is Roy Key. 6, Rip. And anybody that remembers these guys, they ran D6 when they first started in SRA and had quite a little competition between themselves. So it'll be fun to see them back in the same division again. Polly Hartman in 7 and Logan in 8. Rodriguez in 9. Anastasi in 10 in that camo livery. That looks like an aeroplane. Plot in P11. Evan Kim 12. Logan Schaefer 13. Martin Smith 14. Art in P15. Donovan Colton 16. Olhausen in 17. Goriel in 18. Mitchell in 19. Sorry for the bump. Soder in 20. Nick Schwab in 21. Wicks 22. Landshark P23. And I missed my list. I can't remember.
This is where you start to see Porsches now.
Yeah, this is where the Porsches start to show up. By the way, that is
multi-class
a nice
mayhem
comic livery there. So yeah, we actually have a really full grid, and I've run out of number names to run down. So we're gonna have to look at the
Landshark, and then it's oh, actually,
yeah.
my list is broken too.
So apologies, folks. But we'll look at all these gorgeous liveries. People work really hard.
It's Kovac, and then it was Gardner in the AMR, Whitescarver, Marvin, Mueller, Schwartz. Then it's Wagner in the AMR as well, right there, number 6. That's Wagner.
And
They are
going.
So let's just move.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm sure he'll be watching this later, but I want to say sorry to Austin Whitescarver. For some reason, he had me on his fantasy this week because I guess he's insane. Sorry about that, Austin. I hope your race is good.
Well, I apologize to whoever had Brandon Chan in their fantasy because I pulled him from D2. Brandon was supposed to be in this race, by the way. Brandon was originally classified as the D2 driver. And about 3 hours before the race last night, we had the admins move him up to D1 to be my teammate. So, and he did not have a good race.
Man, there should be some
So,
sort of bonus for like being higher up in D1, you know?
not sure, but Evan Kim is in the pit.
I think he's just like too fast, so he's trying to give everybody a head start.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
sandbagging.
Got
Yeah,
it. But he doesn't want to get caught, so,
qualified qualified on full fuel and gonna do a pit lane start. I guess, you know, if you start from the pits, you kind of preemptively serve your penalty for like killing somebody else on lap 1. So maybe that's the admin strategy.
uh, that makes sense.
Well, also, like, if you really can't race on Tuesdays and only Wednesdays, then maybe this, just does enough to keep him in D2. Swerving, swerving, swerving. Are you guys more of a swerve or hitting the brake? Because I pretty much just hit the
Brakes.
brake. Yeah.
It's not F1, so I don't swerve. Yeah. I just hold the brakes up to. I get my tires up to like 1,000. Not my tires. My brakes up to 1,000 degrees. If my tires were 1,000 degrees, it would be like driving the Porsche again.
I mean, it also gets hot, sim racing, no matter, how cold it is outside, with windows or fans or whatever. A lot of people don't sort of understand, if they've never done it, how physically intense just sitting down and moving your arms actually is, especially when you're, focusing really hard. And I say this about, real world racing as well. Like, oh, you sat down for, an hour or so and just moved your arms and legs, but it is very tiring. So I don't know if I want to spend a very slow lap, rocking my arms back and forth just before I'm about to go.
Yeah. I think the only thing I would consider doing it for is just, maybe it helps loosen up yourself, your nerves, whatever, but
Yeah. I I'd do it if it was a cold track and you want to get some surface temps in the tire, but usually you just want the core temps to come up. I don't think anybody here needs the tires to get any hotter. They'll heat up. Um, they're lining up right now, forming up for the start. So 42 cars on the grid. Well, I guess 41 and one from the pits.
yep,
So
that's a full grid. Should be a fun race.
yeah,
Looks like Anderson is flashing
champion
his lights already.
champion motorsports locking out the front row. Are they? Yeah,
3. And then
3 of
their
them.
4th one is
Oh,
further back.
and Victor Diaz
Yep.
is running my livery too.
Yes. You just
I should
noticed.
charge people for this.
Okay, Fazley, I'll let you guys call this. I'm usually not as great
All
here.
right, and green light off and away for SRA, Polly. Okay. So far it's clean at the front. I'll have a look in the back. It is lagging. Leaders make it through cleanly. There is a spinner in the back. There is a big mess in the back. Doug is caught
Oh
in
my
that.
word.
There is quite the mess is still going on. Doug, I believe, escaped the original crash and then caught somebody else down the road facing the wrong way who is still there in the middle of the road. And it's still going.
That's a lot of mess. People
You know,
coming back on now. We'll hop
all
around
for
a
the
little
spectacle.
bit. That is why we do it,
The
right?
camera just barely was away as I saw, I believe, one of the red, in fact, maybe the McLaren we're following now.
And yeah, we got a
Another one?
car, at least one of them in the pits right now.
Oh, that's
There's
it.
Zhao Sordre just opting to return to the pits. I believe he's the one that spun out and got absolutely clobbered by a number of cars who probably were unsighted as he was facing the wrong way over the crest at turn 1 and 2. That is unfortunate. Never want to see that, but happens sometimes.
Oh, here's 3 wide at the end of this.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. A lot of wide. Most of them make it through and stay in, except for one, and pretty darn good, really.
Yeah, wisely backing out of that as you get towards the actual tighter part of that kink. Good job to everyone there. Although I do worry that some people being safe might have got a whole bunch of warnings just now.
Yep. Yes, so everyone's trying to find their spot here at the end of lap 1.
It,
Leaders are piled up, so Wheeler is actually leading right now. So he did get ahead of Damiani on the start there. Among all that mess, it looks like a few people actually significantly benefited from it. Mueller jumped 14 places up. Anastasi jumped up 21. So we got a few Porsches not in the back anymore.
I imagine Evan Kim has gained probably
It's
10 places.
five people in the pits right now. Whitescarver, Mitchell, Schaefer, Kovac, and Sorter. So probably those guys who were caught up in that whole carnage.
yeah, Evan Kim made it up to 33 because of all that and starting from the pit. So maybe it was a good strategy and a good call on his part.
Yep.
Oh, I definitely jinxed Austin Whitescarver. My bad.
We'll check in the mid back. Doesn't seem to be a lot of movement back here. Position changes.
Yeah. The entire field, pretty much from P20 down to P35, they're all like less than half a second from each other, a couple of tenths from each other at most.
Absolutely. So a lot of action going on back here.
Oh, 3 wide. He's pushing his teammate ahead.
Boy.
Just don't kill him. Just make it 4 wide into Science Corner.
Oh,
Look
yeah.
at that.
Cutting
It's
them off.
D3, they can do it.
Yeah.
It's
No,
not D3, it's D2.
Or D3 left.
So maybe they can't do it.
But they did it.
That must
Somebody
have
was
felt
out
awful
there
as the
and-
BMW.
Oh, yeah, somebody went off up ahead there and trying to recover here without losing too many spots. But yeah, it's always what can you do if you're going down the straight and 3 cars just push each other down the straight next to you and nobody wants to help you.
Yeah, I say just sticking behind them and let it come back to you at this point in the race.
Yep.
Not the biggest deal, really. Just if you see that many cars coming around you, I also say be careful because they're more likely to hit each other than they are to actually make it cleanly through.
So you're watching here, cameras on
Oh, we're gonna switch the camera. Oh, look at
E21, but if you move further back, to Diggs.
being closely followed by Smith, being followed by Jess,
What?
and the random
That's
Porsche.
alternative lines. Paul Ricard has lots of different lines as you can see, so you can. That is not one of them.
It seems like trying
like
to take a
Wagner's
taxi
having
in
some
a. It's like someone taking a taxi in a marathon, just coming out of nowhere at the end of the street.
Something like
Yeah, so it looks like a couple of people here got a bad run onto the straight, so this should get interesting by the time we get to the end of it. The Aston does not have good straight line speed. It pretty much hits 280. You can be on one wing, you can be on 10 wing. It stops accelerating at 280. So the Ferraris in the back, by the way, are probably gonna hit. You see the Lexus pushing the Ferrari there at the bottom of your screen. A little bit too far back though.
that would be Evan pushing Polly a little bit.
Yeah, Champion Motorsports really working together here from qualifying and also in the race.
It sure looks like Nick Wagner there is got some dirt and other debris on his tires or has overworked them after he went way off before the end of the main straight as we saw, and then just now went way off there. That's gonna really hurt him later in the race.
Yeah, up in front, further up ahead, Victor Diaz is lining up Brian Anderson here for P3, and Rife is following closely behind Rife and Key. So Diaz in the McLaren should have a good run here, potentially onto the straight.
Happily, it does look like nobody's really drifted off into the ether here. I mean, we'd see all that a lot last year in Division 2, where the first driver or two would get 4 or 5 seconds off and just hot lap the rest of it. But right now, everyone looks to be within that 1-2 second gap, which comes down and expands every lap here. That is a pretty good run on the left side there from the McLaren, it looks like.
Yeah.
But he's getting squeezed out. Let's see if he ducks back in, and he'll duck in behind all of them and just take the safe line. And looks like, of course, Andrew is going to keep the inside there. A couple people going off out in the background. We're looking for more warnings, and we're probably going to see some drive-thrus pop up not too late in this race.
Yeah, Maxwell, I think, is going side by side right now with Artem into Science Corner. They both hold it on the track. Nicely done. Very respectful. We'll see if that changes.
That was close.
It was well held by both of them.
Like hard to make that one stick.
Yep.
Well,
Just
Yeah,
behind
I do
them.
wonder if they're corking the bottle here. There is a little bit of a gap forming in front of them because, of course, as we know, when two cars are fighting closely, they tend to slow down each other, which ends up creating a sort of train behind them, as we're seeing.
Yeah, a lot of the Porsches that we saw earlier who started in the back, like they've actually made huge jumps to the front. Anastasi has moved up 21 spots. Lena Boonstra is up 20 spots. Maxwell up 19 and Jess Osborne up 14. Some of the biggest jumpers here. So really took advantage of the chaos at the start there.
well, maybe there's something about Porsches being able to get through chaos that we haven't picked up on yet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only way I ever gained places.
Jason, this was probably the cleanest race start I've ever seen. You don't have to watch it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, that looks like a run for the Aston right here. It is tough though, getting on the inside and actually making a stick.
I don't think the in the Aston anyway. The moment you pull out the slipstream, you just stop accelerating. So and then they're gonna pull away from you again. Or actually, a lot of the cars actually will pull away from you while you're in their slipstream.
A lot of frontal area, huh?
Yeah, the BOP in the Aston, the engine in the Aston just stops making any power, like over 7,000 RPM. So you pretty much just run max swing over here. It doesn't go any faster than 280. I think there was a move there that was about to happen. We got away from it. There's action up and down the grid though.
Yep. So we're gonna try to hop around, see what we can find, and hopefully not miss anything.
Yeah, we see a battle here in P11, P10.
Yeah, P10 and P11 have been close for a while, flirting with this, but it looks like
Travis, Victor Diaz is doing awesome. He's in P4 right now, chasing down Brian Anderson. So you might be lining him up for a move down into Science Corner.
we can take a look at him quick. You can see your buddy.
Yep, they're lining them up on the straight right now. So Brian's a little bit too far to get the draft from Damiani in front of him. Victor should get a good run. I'm not sure. I know the McLaren's pretty fast in the straight line. And in the practice race, Victor is bullying me in the straights, so I bullied him back on the corners though. And here's see if Brian's gonna take the inside or if Victor is gonna do it. Maybe he's gonna opt to pull out. No, he's gonna commit to it.
Nope.
Bounces off the curb slightly on the inside curve. They both hold it. It's gonna try to outbrake him into the inside and holds it in. So far, we'll see if he can hold it to the defend the inside on this corner here, or if Brian's gonna try to move on the outside. Brian thinks about it, opts to slot back behind him, maybe line him up for the last corner or into turn one.
Wow, that was some great racing right there.
That
I was hesitant to say anything.
That was exactly what I did to Victor in the practice race, like 3 times.
He learned.
Well, also, I mean, something that you need to keep in mind if you're a little bit less experienced, or even if you just aren't racing that much and you're into, watching these streams or want to get into it, is especially at a track like this, when you have a slipstream on somebody and you overtake them with that slipstream, you are now going faster than you expect to be. during all of your hot laps and other practices. So you really have to make up for that. Ooh, that looked like a little bit of a touch, a little bit of argy-bargy here.
Yeah, back. Lots of action here. The Lexus looks like it's going to get boxed in behind the Aston. He has a good run, but he has to pull out of it.
And
Someone went off up ahead. I think that's Jess Osborne, who had outbraked himself into turn 1, and now is probably going to lose 2 or 3 spots here. He's going to try and hold on to this one on the inside. I don't think he's going to do it. Oh, he is. Jess is pretty good at late braking, as we saw in last time I saw was season 10, and he had lots of nice overtakes on the brakes. So
Pretty
see
good
how
at late
this goes for
braking.
him.
He just was 4,000 feet off the end of braking at
I
turn
was
1.
just
Yeah.
thinking that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I don't think he's gonna hold Alexis behind him on the straight though.
How have we had 2 people go that far into turn 1 in Division 2, especially? I mean,
take a look at our
I've outbraked myself a lot. Oh, wow, okay, so
Okay,
a little
there's
bit of
some.
a weave there.
Yeah, I think somebody's trying to defend and attack at the same time, and it's just gets a little bit messy sometimes. They sorted it out though. Gardner is.
well, was trying to make a move on Millar.
No, it's just 3 Astons all
AMR on
in a row
AMR
right here.
violence.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to slow him down for his teammate to catch up. Get some team orders, some, I guess that's pink rules, but not papaya.
Yeah, further back actually,
Uh,
we've got Jess,
That's-
Evan, Paulie. There is so much action up and on the field right here. I don't know
it's just
who
a
it was.
train, yeah. But it's a train here. Little stuff here and there. We'll do our best.
Out front, Wheeler is still leading. It's actually opening up the gap to 3.5 seconds right now.
Ooh, yellow down
he
the
also has
Mistral? Sorry about
Oh, so race control just died on me. So
I think,
yeah.
well, let's blame it on that
This
person.
happened.
no,
Uh-oh.
race control died on me. We're gonna do.
Okay.
I'm gonna do this for a minute so I can get it running back and.
Okay. If we can get a camera on Brian Anderson, he is, I think, side by side with Victor Diaz for P3 in the straight right now, for P4, P3.
Alright, so jumping back. There you go. You guys can watch Brian Anderson while we try to get race control back up and running.
Andrew
Andrew.
actually makes a move on him instead.
Yeah.
And Brian's probably compromised by trying to make a move. Andrew catches up, takes advantage. He's trying to capitalize in on this right now. And this fighting between Andrew and Brian is just allowing Victor to pull away slightly and is actually pulling in Roy Key behind them as well. Now Roy's in the picture. He might try something on Andrew.
Yeah, it's a good fight from Andrew, but I mean, the defense right there is taking the inside line every turn, so he's not exactly getting a chance to really come up on him. I think that this is going to be pretty much a drag race without us seeing a real good chance to overtake at the end here on this straight anyway.
Yeah. Sending a dummy, I don't think that's going to work on someone as experienced as Brian.
Yeah,
Not
I don't
that
think he
far
even
back.
looked at that.
Yeah, no. It's kind of insulting.
And sometimes you just got to get in their mirrors, you know,
Yeah.
lap after lap, just show them that you're there.
I don't think you're going to miss that purple brick in your mirrors.
Hop back to Artem and Ian and Martin and Diggs here. They're still battling away back here also. So
Oh,
see a lot of
that is well done, but scary. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how you can, you know, make a single move and then a gap can open up so much because it affects everybody around you. Just those little, you know, you can see the McLaren we're following right now as he makes those little adjustments because he's offline. That just takes up so much time away from you.
Rift is trying to make a move on Anderson up front.
So switch back. Nice. See if you can hold it. It's going to try to outbreak him into turn whatever number that is.
I'm staying around the outside. He's still alongside.
Those-
They have to give each other
Yeah.
space.
And Brian now have the inside for the snake's corner here. It's not
Wow.
impossible to make a move
Oh,
around. No, don't do it.
No,
No. That was not
Andrew.
on. Okay. They
Wow.
recover it.
They were
Surprisingly, that was pretty good. Andrew lets him have it. Flashes his lights to say, "My bad." I hope, or yeah, I think that's what he's saying. I did tell him before the race though that he should flash his lights. If we see it on the stream, just flash his lights if he's gonna do something sketchy. So
Roy thought he was going to get a couple of free positions there, and they were able to get it back on track and moving in the right direction.
Yeah, that is the
Looks like
worst when you
they're-
have to check up for other people.
yeah. They all slotted back into single file right now. It looks like it's kind of formed a 5 or 6 car train behind them, behind this whole mess though. So everyone's just waiting to see what happens here as they make their way through sector 1 again, slowing each other down. Oops, Roy actually makes a mistake there. Recovers, but now he's also side by side. Now the two of them are gonna compromise their line. Roy is gonna have a bad run down the straight right here. He's lost all his momentum. Andrew looks like he's gonna be on Brian's bumper. No, easily next to him, even clear of him. Whoa. Nos kicked in.
Yeah, still on the outside. Though I think he's clear enough here. Yeah, you duck back in. There's no way you try to hold that there. Good job.
We'll see
Well
what
made.
Brian can do. Brian actually gets a bit of oversteer. The rear kicks out slightly there, but he holds it. So Andrew finally makes the move stick. We'll see if he can come back to round out this lap in P3. P4, sorry.
Brown, a little bit with
Yeah, we've got Jess Osborne further down in P27 is on the outside and tries to switch back pretty successfully. We'll try to hold it around the inside here. Looks like he's got it. McLaren there struggling for grip, it looks like a little bit. And just makes up yet another position in this race.
Oh.
Someone's having a picnic.
They're trying to pick up some debris so they don't end up underweight.
Okay.
There you go. Keep that.
Just refilling. They were refilling their sandbags, I think.
Yeah. Ian is in the middle of this pack here.
Ian Byron. Okay.
Yeah, with, being squeezed by Polly and Jess.
Oh, don't go down the middle.
This is the. Oh, that is.
Ouch! That
Saw that
wasn't
one
very
coming.
nice. That wasn't very nice either. And that was double
Oh,
not nice.
that's. Oh, there was a sympathy spins in solidarity. We're all doing it. They're all on the same team, right? It was like Champion Motorsports. It was
Sounds like a bad joke.
synchronized spinning.
They're that good.
Yes.
I
I told
think-
you it's the curse of the Fazli livery.
We're gonna have to talk a lot before the next race because that beginning meeting is gonna take a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can use my driver's briefing video that I made seasons ago.
Oh yes, we should have thrown in penetration for Cube Master
For
here.
Cube.
That was a lot of penetration.
That was penetration.
Oh, okay, that was 3 different lines in those cars right behind this view here, and it looked very close, but well kept.
Yeah, I think there's one thing I like about this track. You can take a couple. The track's so wide, and there are a couple of corners that lead into one another. So you can, depending on how you come in, there's different lines you can take. Opens it up to a lot of moves, lots of overtaking opportunities here. So it's always action, unless you're Michael Manning in a Bentley.
Is there any way to affect the sponsor ticker / or I guess, yeah, I don't know if on the stream they can, but I can't really see the time left. I'm guessing we're roughly near the halfway point with a lot of people starting to
Yeah.
pit. Interestingly, up at the front here, Wheeler's got almost a 6-second gap now, and then there's
Yep.
another 6-second gap that Andrew's got. A lot of battles going on, but that is sort of what I talked about with D2, having the lead or top two just sort of disappear sometimes.
Looks like
Yeah,
Roy is
there
looking
is,
to get into the...
Diaz is
Ooh.
making a move here on.
Oh man, well Roy is currently passing Logan on the straight. See if he makes it through to the end.
Oh,
Too wide.
That's
whoa! What?
Ah! And somebody went bing!
Hmm.
Let's see. Evan, Kim. All the moves are on the straight here. They need
That's
to get
weird.
more
I'm fairly
creative.
certain that I'm commentating, not driving, but I don't know how I just did that. That's usually my type of spin.
I thought Diaz was going to make a move, but it looks like he's
yeah.
dropped back here a little bit. So Boreal and
Josh,
Donovan are
Yeah.
having a...
36 minutes to go. Josh Damiani is first of the leaders in the pits. So we'll see how his stop goes. I'll keep an eye on him.
Oof, there's another little
He
bump in
was
the back.
in-
There's another
was in
bump in the
P2.
back.
They need to stop bumping.
Yeah, that Lexus just bumped the Aston twice. We're sure this is D2, right? We just don't have the label incorrect.
Correct. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Well, it's the first race of the season. Everybody's kind of knocking the rust off a little bit, and
I think
know.
knocking the rust off is supposed to be a metaphor, not actually hitting the other
not
person's rust
actually
off.
hitting. Okay.
Wow, look at this train though. I mean, 6 cars all bumper to bumper. And doing that for an entire hour, I'm sure. It's just intense.
I hope they don't all try to go into the pits at the same time and bump each other over the line and all of them speed. Josh Damiani just left the pits. He is in E something 28.
They're gonna
I
try to do
believe-
3 wide. No, okay, good. They're thinking better of it. That was starting to look really sketchy.
Thinking's not
to
been
see
their
the
strong
Aston
suit
sends
tonight.
it. Ouch.
Yeah, I wonder how many warnings a lot of these guys are on right now. Probably starting to look a little bit dire with some of them, which does mean that you'll end up checking up a bit more and losing some lap time as you try to stave off that drive-through.
Yep. Wheeler, race leader Wheeler opts the pit right now, so he's gonna drop back. Victor Diaz currently leading the race. Brian Anderson P2 yet still all these guys yet to make a stop though, so it's gonna be
It's enough
lots
of
of
a
shuffling
gap,
of positions
though.
as people opt to pit. So yeah, we're about almost halfway through the race, so all these people caught in trains right now, if they feel like they're just being held up in traffic, it's perfect time to pit. Hopefully come out in clear traffic or faster traffic anyway. And then
Well,
you
that's
can
what I'm
undercut
not sure
these
about.
cars you're with.
Yeah, those
You know,
lead cars, I think there's enough of a gap. They might come out in the middle of a pack right here.
I hate to say it, but I haven't seen any drive-thrus yet.
I mean,
I saw some cars
you don't
driving
hate
through
to
each
say
other.
it.
No, not that kind of drive-thru. Yeah, the little red ones, the DTs.
Dan, thanks for joining, Dan. Been a pretty clean race, no incidents. Perfect start. It'll be a quiet night for the stewards today.
Yeah, what we're watching here is really something you want to show the lower leagues on how to drive well at the top level.
Oh, see, I said it, and there it is. Our first drive-through of the evening, coming from Gardner. Sorry, sir.
A little bit of tail out there from the Audi. Seems pretty typical for Audi behavior, but the more you see that, they haven't pitted yet, so maybe they're just stretching it a little bit longer than they should have. You know, as long as they're putting in some good time still, maybe that's fine. But if I'm this Audi, I am definitely starting to think about pitting for maybe the undercut if you've been following, you know, that Aston Martin here for a little bit too long. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get anything over on Diggs very easily. And,
So-
as good as you can be.
Yeah, Wheeler, who is your net race leader, pitted and came out, so it still has about 6-second gap over Josh Damiani. So gaps pretty much maintained between the two of them. They were running 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, Damiani's out in clear air at the moment. Not much else to see there.
Looks like they had pretty much identical pit times there.
There. Sorry.
Yeah, got a bunch more cars in the pits right now. About 3/4 of the field is done to serve the pit stop.
Oh, interesting. Actually, Diggs went into the pits instead of Smith. I imagine it was one of those, you know, whatever you do, I do the opposite type plans.
The fastest lap of the race so far is a 1:54.5 by Wheeler. It's pretty fast. And it should get faster now that they've got new tires and a lower fuel load.
Yeah, it definitely depends on what practice you've done, right? Because I made the mistake of practicing with full fuel too much, I think, just to make sure I sort of knew what I was doing in a car I haven't driven much. And then by the time, you know, I came out, my tires were, you know, getting a little bit on the edge side. It was not safe.
Hey Steph, can we move the sponsors marquee thing down to the bottom, or
Yeah,
so we can actually see the time left?
I can do that. Wait.
I'll turn it off. We know who it is.
Wait. The SRA thing?
The thing that you have selected right now. I think
Oh,
sponsors marquee.
that.
Yes, thank you.
Not a problem.
And slipstream working as we expect, but now they are too wide and neck and neck, although on the inside, staying that far away is not the defensive move.
Can we watch Victor Diaz in the pits? He's a P6 or something right now. I believe he was pretty close to Anderson or whoever is battling for P3, P4.
Yep, he is coming out now as we watch. With Josh coming out right past. So.
Is that Muller right in front of him?
Damiani.
Oh,
That
okay,
is Josh
looking at the sides
Damiani right in front. That is for a net P2.
Yeah, and cold tires shouldn't allow you to keep up, but it certainly looked like he was able to make those turns.
It's working for him.
Yep.
Maybe it's colder tires better than overheating tires.
Yeah, it also depends on how you set your car up. For some reason, no matter what I did to set up the Porsche when I used to drive it, I could do an outlap like a second faster than most people did their outlaps, and then everything else was really slow. But my outlap, great outlaps.
We'll see if Victor manages to catch up here. Further up ahead, it might be a little bit interesting. Argatoni is actually on the tail of Wheeler. Penzo hasn't made his pit stop yet, so...
Yeah, Wheeler just got past Panzo, so...
Okay.
I don't think...
Yeah, I wasn't sure if Panzo was gonna try something back.
Nah.
And make it interesting.
Guy. Olhausen and Landshark are about to duel down the straight.
Olhausen going around the outside. He looked to me a bit tentative about going side by side in there, so pulls out of it.
This seems
it's a very conservative line.
To really be the favorite place for everybody. Oh,
that guy was not afraid of it.
No, he was just trying to make sure that he didn't get warning there, really swerving
Yeah.
to stay inside the boundary. Which, you know, maybe at the risk of other people isn't exactly the best move to make.
I believe the last few cars now who have yet to make a stop are doing so, except Smith, who is leading the race right now. I think he's the only car left yet to make a stop.
Well, Smith was right behind Diggs for a while. I imagine he's enjoying the clean air. Plus, the longer he goes, you know, gets those nice new tires at the end, maybe it helps enough.
So as it stands now, it looks like Logain, Landshark, and Olhausen are leading the silver division. They're sitting in P8, P10, P11. They should move up a spot after Smith makes his stop, I believe. So some silver drivers here placing really well, as it stands anyway.
Wow, that was impressive. I mean, the turn in on the lead car there
They are
to make that
fighting.
angle. Yeah, that's exactly the sort of thing I can't do, which makes me lose a whole lot of places, is, you know, adjust like that well and that quickly. Actually, the Mustang is turning. That's a new thing for me.
I think some people can get it to turn. I'm not one of them.
Maybe it's the issue of getting it to
I think-
stop turning.
Yeah, I think if there's people standing on the sidewalk, then it'll turn towards them. That should be fine.
Oh yeah, not much of a crowd here at Paul Ricard.
Yeah. Remember, horsepower is how fast you hit them. Torque is how many bodies you can go through.
Hey, it looks like we have a new fastest lap from Ian Wheeler.
Yep, 54.2.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah, we're starting to get to those qualifying laps. I wonder if... Oh yeah, there we go. We've got Smith finally pitting.
Yeah, so we should get a pretty clear picture of the running order heading to the last 25 minutes of the race here. We still got some pretty close battling up and down the field. Got 40 cars with us, so we've lost 2. One of them being Zhao Sordre at the start. I don't.
He was
No, who
about
else?
midway down the Mistral where he went yellow and teleported to the pits. So I believe that is some sort of disconnect.
Okay. Yeah, I saw him in the pits for several laps before he disappeared. As Andrew tries to go around the outside of Brian again. Brian's about to lose 2 spots here if he's not careful.
That
He
was
says,
tight.
"Nope, you're staying out there."
Oh yeah, that
Got
was
it.
just respect right there.
You know,
Look at Goriel and Schwab have been really battling away back here in
And-
the mid pack.
it's Anastasi in the Porsche in P4 right now.
No, he's P16. Wait. Oh, there's two
Two
Anastasies.
Anastasies.
You know what?
And they're
There's 2
both in the
Anastasies?
Porsche. Yeah.
That explains a lot. No wonder my numbers all messed up. I was like, wait, how can you have made up 20 spots if you started in P10? You're not that fast.
Yeah, I was confused about that.
Moved up to
too.
D1.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I didn't realize there were 2 of them. Okay. We need to put all the Mays in here.
The Mays, the Anastasies, the who else is it?
The Yarns.
The Yarans.
Andersons.
All the Andersons. We have quite a collection here.
We could just show like 5 names to cover the whole division.
Olhausen and Landshark have been working each other over for a while too.
This looks like sort of a repeat of what I was dealing with yesterday, where you're able to really catch up to those Porsches, but if they drive it correctly around these really tight turns, there's no way to really overtake.
Victor just passed Damiani
Well,
maybe.
they're
It's
still
on the
working
inside.
on it. We didn't miss it yet.
He's gonna try and outbreak him here. He's gonna have to. He pulls out of it, but Damiani goes a little bit deep.
Ooh.
Just has to keep it on track, and Victor pulls ahead. We'll see if he keeps on the inside here to defend. Yep, he holds very tight inside line. Damiani carrying more speed. Tries a little switch back here into the final couple of corners. He's forcing Victor out wide. He's gonna have to break late. Victor's barely keeps it on track and has to try again next lap.
And loses good chunk of time.
Yeah. He's gonna have to be careful now. They're drawing Anastasia in as well.
So, Olhausen and Landshark with a little wiggle together.
When we left those guys, Olhausen had a real run on him down the Mistral, but now they're still too wide around this whole technical part of Section 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost a reenactment of what we just saw before.
Yeah, hopefully the Porsche can get tight around here and keep going. Yep, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah. We'll see Aston has if he's gonna try something to turn 1 here. He's got a nice run.
He's already got the inside line too.
Go out
and he's...
for the wider. Go wider.
Wait.
Yes.
Ooh.
Nice. Nicely done. On the brakes.
Is he going to hold it though? Yep. Yeah, it looks like Landshark went a little bit too wide there if he was going to try the cutback.
So it looks like Diaz is
Trying
try again.
So, yeah, it looks like he's getting a good run down that straight.
Clean run this time. Gonna be, I think, gives him a better shot here. Last time around looks like he bumped off the inside curb a little bit. We'll see how this goes. Yep, he slides slightly again, loses too much speed. Damiani is just staying really committed around the outside. Goes wide again, opens up the inside and gives Diaz, invites Diaz to take that inside line. This time
This feels like
Damiani's going to be
deja
on the
vu.
inside. Yeah, they swap places here though, so now Diaz is going to try to switch back. We'll see if Damiani cuts across for the braking because he's well ahead now. We'll see if he defends the inside line. He does. Victor has nowhere to go.
Those two have to be having so much fun. Is he going to get a run out of here though? He's really right on his
Looks
tail.
like-
That looks like it. Yeah, in the slipstream here. But defense can still take away your ability to overtake, especially coming into a chicane like this.
Yeah. He's probably just going to set him up. Like, be patient. Make sure you try and set up for the best exit you can onto the straight.
Well, the interesting thing here about, Paul Ricard is that turn 13 is one of those turns where the inside line actually seems to not be the best line to take. And if you can really hold it around the outside and carry momentum, that tends to be a good way to defend. So maybe he's going to try to set himself up on the straight and get to the outside, maybe pull a dummy here, but he can't keep doing the same thing.
He's holding a way tighter line there, though. It looks like the car is just so much more grip. So traveling a shorter distance, is staying on him. Maybe we can ride on board with Diaz.
And Josh is not going to let him
Damiani takes Damiani takes the inside line this time.
Interesting.
And then squeezes him out wide. That's exactly what he's supposed to do. Oh, maybe we can go back to an external view. Oh, okay.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, they bumped slightly there. That was a nothing contact. That was fine.
Yeah, I'm surprised
I don't
after
know
it worked
if-
twice that, he went to defend on the inside instead of staying on the outside there, but
I'm going
it
to...
kind of worked.
Yeah. Probably didn't want Vic Diaz to get a bit too comfortable doing that every lap.
come back to them in a minute. We've got a lot of battles up and down the field here.
Oh, that's going to be a warning.
Here we have a battle of 4 at least.
It looked like a little bit of a bump there between him and the BMW. Yeah, here's 4 different cars too, and all of likely different setups. So seeing who gets a run down these straights or seeing who can stay tight around these turns is pretty much how you're going to see this fight turn out. And it looks like the McLaren has definitely got the best of these guys.
He's pulling away. You still have Muller in between Goriel and Evan Kim there. That's got to be my least favorite position, chasing somebody down while someone else is chasing you.
A little fire coming out of the McLaren there, but it looks like the BMW is definitely staying right on his tail through these last couple turns. Can he get a run out here, though?
You'll see
Doesn't look like it, but
McLaren
the slipstream
is
will catch him up.
yeah. McLaren's really fast on the straight. BMW not so. So he'll need that slipstream if he has to get a chance at it. Looks like he does have it though. So much more momentum. He's actually opts to bump him. Maybe he
Okay,
wants to.
not going for
Maybe
an
he just doesn't
overtake.
want. Yep. He's gonna try to ensure it's too wide into the corner.
Yeah, basically
Just to make it
created a
interesting.
double slipstream for the drivers behind. That's a very interesting maneuver. I mean, they're not on the same team. They're in different cars. I'm not sure why you would do that.
We've got
Well, maybe he thought they could drop Kim and Mueller out of the.
yeah. Oh, Evan sticking a nose in there, trying to take advantage of this indecisiveness. It looks like, and he looks like he actually managed to sneak through there. So quite
Yeah,
opportunistic. Evan moving up to
bumping was the
P.
wrong move.
Yeah. Uh.
This BMW's already
Right now.
lost even a couple car lengths here. Looks like he's a little
Yeah.
bit in trouble from the Aston right now. So really kind of
Mueller's.
shook his confidence maybe just after messing up the last couple turns of the last
Yep.
lap.
Diaz is trying again on Damiani up front. So
Let's
take
see what
17.
happens.
He's actually ahead of him this time coming into the corner. We'll see if he commits to it. No, he's keeps a little bit late. He loses some momentum here. Damiani's gonna have the inside line again. Damiani breaks deep though. Diaz does a switch back into the inside. I think this is his best chance yet. He's clear of the car. Damiani has got way more momentum. Diaz has got to hold the inside. He gets pushed off.
Yep, but he's waiting.
Damiani's letting him through though. Okay. Nice, very good bit of sportsmanship. That's unfortunate that happened. It was good racing up till then. It was the slightest of touches, but very sporting from Damiani there.
Will nobody think of the cone that just got killed? Probably had family.
Maybe. Back here where we were watching, Evan Kim got ahead of that pack, caught up to Marvin and Landshark who were battling. So now you have 6 cars in a row, less than a second apart. So
Yeah.
they're all fighting.
Yep.
If we
Also,
want to, go.
I was gonna say I'll keep an eye on timings for battle for P4. The Andrew Riff, and Brian Anderson.
Yep.
They're pretty close there, so we'll see how that develops.
And Logan is not far behind them, so they start fighting.
I think Brian is on the straight with them right now on with Riff.
And we have Marvin and Evan Kim battling away. Or was that one? A little wiggle in there. Ooh, and they avoid it.
Yeah, everyone's pushing
Really
now.
did-
Fuel
oh.
load's low. New tires. Hopefully, people actually took tires. Right, of course, you have to take tires. It's mandatory.
I think we know
Yeah,
they did.
and 13 minutes left. People are maybe starting to be a little bit more aggressive, trying to get a move done if they've been hiding behind a car for way
Yep.
too long.
Yeah, Roy Key
Yep.
up for P8. It's lining up for moves on the outside here of Anastasi. Other Anastasi. Is it the other one? One of them.
I need to go solve who their first names now. There's an M and a J.
M is Matt,
It is now.
right? Yeah, actually, chat, I was going to say that if you want to see a really good example of how battles slow cars down, just look at where Wheeler is compared to Diaz and Damiani right now.
Yep. He's got a 14-second gap. That's massive.
Yeah. P14, 15, 16, they just had, I think they just went like 3 wide
Let's see.
because they were pretty close, and I think there's quite a big gap between them now. I don't know if something happened.
Yeah. I do want to watch Logan and Anderson and Wright here. It's like Logan's caught up, so this could get pretty interesting.
Yeah, and Anderson and Reif were fighting before the pit stops in this, and I believe
Yep.
Reif
Yeah.
just made it past him, I think.
Yeah, I think Rife made it past into Stein's corner at the end of the Mistral Straight eventually. It looks like Brian's a little bit faster through the corners, but he just kind of actually doesn't have quite the pace delta to make a move after Rife got him on the straight.
It's also one of those things to watch out because, if you're trying to get revenge a little bit from being passed earlier, and as the race gets near the end, that red mist might get a little bit bright in your eyes.
Yeah. So Brian right now is actually more at risk for the car behind him than he is, from attacking Rife. Evan Kim, meanwhile, moves up to E11
Yeah.
overtakes Landshark.
I was about to say, I just wanted to look at this guy started from the pit and is in P11. So I think maybe your early prediction about him starting in the pit to try to deal with his sand. Maybe there's a little bit more to that than we thought.
Yeah, P11's not good enough to jump up to D1. He's just going to sit there.
The straight's long enough where you can type in some
We had
Evan
some
commands.
yellow in the back right in front of the leader and just teleported the pits. I think someone might have just disconnected or had a crash and then just jumped out. That was right in front of the leader, though.
Well, he does have a almost 15-second gap, so he's got some wiggle room for funny things.
Yeah, that does mean he's catching up to some blue flags now. And I mean, 10 minutes left is, you can sort of not worry too much with the blue flags. But if you come up to something like this and you're trying to make it through, that's not happening.
Yeah. He's got 6 seconds in front of him, the next car in front of the blue flag. So 6 seconds in front, 13 seconds behind. So he should be okay to not push too hard.
Yeah, we have our second drive-through.
Actually, I gotta say, it's pretty good. These three, we had a lot of drive-throughs by now. This has been 1, 2. So.
Yep.
You got Jess Osborne leading this train, so it's starting to spread out a little bit. And sorry, Jess. I think we cursed him a little bit there. I'm gonna go away now.
No, don't.
No.
Oh, no.
So
come on, Steph, find us another crash.
I know, right?
So Evans right now.
Don't find us another
P10.
crash. I didn't really mean it. Jeez.
Here,
Evan, this is another Lexus on Nissan. That's Donovan Colton in front of him. I guess it's Rife's teammate based on the color of the car and the fact that it's the only other Nissan, I guess.
That's probably good.
Evan just swings right around the outside. It's into the top 10 right now.
Evan's been quietly just swimming right through this field.
I mean, Colton stayed so far on the inside down the straight there. He just set himself up to not be able to keep up. But, I mean, also, if you see, Evan Kim's name come through the pack behind you lap after lap, maybe you don't try that hard to defend.
Dude, he can push. You know how hard he can push the accelerator with those tires? It goes so fast.
Oh, see, found you another one.
That's. Oh, don't stop. Go, go, go. Just parks it.
You asked, and I delivered.
Oh, this is a
We've
race
got
that will be talked about for
8
ages.
yeah, 8 minutes, Wheeler's halfway through lap, so it looks like 4 more laps to go. Maybe 5. 4.
Yeah, in the next couple laps, that's when you expect people to start doing these last-second dives to really try to make up those places they've been fighting over for 5-10 minutes. But I
Yeah.
mean, at this point, I think we've had enough.
Yeah,
Yeah, racers
something.
never have enough.
Yeah, Damiani is dropped 6 seconds back behind Diaz now. So top 3 looks pretty. Top 2 look pretty settled, barring anything unexpected.
Yeah, here's the same fight going on too. Looks like ebbs and flows. You know, you see the getting a little bit closer to Rife here is Anderson. You get to keep in the slipstream, but as soon as you don't make that pass, it slows you down a little bit and gets, you know, Logan behind you catching up. So it's that sort of slinky effect you have, unless something happens where someone makes a big mistake.
Yep. Smith just made a move on Selena Boonstra or P18. They've got a few cars there in a row too. Right behind her, Marvin just passes Arden.
And we just had Boreal and Landshark here having some back and forth.
Yeah. The battle for P4 is still, 3 cars within about half a second here.
My cabbages.
We'll watch this turn and then we'll hop up to there, and as these guys switch back and forth, looks like Anderson lost a little bit of time to right. See how that works out.
Yeah, it's definitely something you want to look at for Selena in these races. She is the queen of defense from what I've seen. You know, there's a lot of times there's a couple cars that are sort of bottleneck behind her, and she's fast, but also she just defends so well.
Yeah, I think every time I've done practice races or endurance races and Selena's in front of me, she's one of the, she puts up a really good fight. Unless Waleed's in front of her and they inevitably will take each other out, then I'll just drive around both of them. I don't know why. Happened more than once.
Back to Boreal and Landshark here, going back and forth.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually almost unfortunate. If Landshark didn't go wide, then he would have been on the Coral would have had a slipstream and not had this effect where you go down the straight too wide and it slows you down. Actually, he should have been easily past him here, but at least he's still got it past. And Landshark slips in and tries to weave, I guess. I'm not sure what that maneuver was.
Who was the hit between Anderson? Rife was ahead of Anderson, right?
Correct.
Yeah, they
Just
haven't.
making sure. Rife is really close to Damiani right now for P3.
Yeah, Damiani definitely ruined his tires having that battle with Diaz. Plus, I think he pitted rather early compared to some of these other drivers.
Yes, he was the first of the leaders to pit.
It looks
So
like
we'll see
that
if he can
may
hold
not
on.
have
There's only
paid
about
off.
3 laps left.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, 4.5 minutes, but
He's gonna hope that Brian messes with Rife enough, but Brian might just push him down the straight, and both of them gonna get past him.
Can I just say that between these two battles, I noticed Evan Kim passed Olhausen and is now a second and a half in front of him. And he is now in P9. So this man has been very quietly moving his way through the field so we can barely catch it.
He needs to submit his Motec after this race.
well, I was gonna say, like at Paul Ricard, no one's gonna notice a little bit of extra sand on the ground.
Rife gets past Damiani, clears him before the corner. Oh, it's just close. That was close.
Very.
They're bump drafting through that sweeper. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Never
and
mind.
he's bumping even more. That's Brian says
Drift.
thank you. And Rife won't be happy. I think we're gonna hear about that later. And it's gonna be given back. No.
Oh.
Damiani's needs to get his composure back here.
Yeah, take a few deep breaths. He's definitely lost a step here or there.
Yeah.
Nice old drift there from Andrew, but yeah, he ends up back in the same position he just was.
So Douglas Mitchell is back in P34 for those who asked.
You
Yeah.
didn't have to actually answer chat with that. That's not fun.
Oh, well, he asked, so I figured I'd let him know. We'll go back here and look at Logan, who is now chomping at the heels of Damiani. Seems like Josh has slowed down quite a bit ever since that little tap with Victor.
Yeah. It looks like Damiani was running for the most part. I think he was in P2 for most of the race. Until, battling Victor for us after the pits. And
Sorry, I wanted to actually confirm that Marvin went into the pit. He was up quite high in the race, and for whatever reason now has stopped in there. So
One other thing to look at now that we've only got 2 minutes left is fuel. Did people fuel correctly? You are not allowed to take more fuel. There have been quite a number of people going too wide down the straights like this only for someone to back off, but they are staying close. That's good defense, right? Staying in the middle, squeezing the inside driver, essentially.
So here we have Rife fighting Anderson for P3. Josh and
oh,
Logan.
stay on
And
that one.
yeah, it's hard to figure out who you want to stick with. They both have 0.1 second between each other in both battles.
It'd really help us if that second battle would get closer to the front guys. It would really
Yeah,
help
I know,
us.
right?
It would just fit on the one screen.
Well, it looks like his
Go
rear end
faster.
did something spicy.
Leader is on the last lap.
A couple
we
people
can
in
put
the
the
pits right
camera
now.
on Wheeler because we haven't looked at him all race because he's just been driving away. So
Yeah,
there's
there you go.
look,
there's
someone's right
Wheeler.
behind him.
There's your race leader. Okay, let's go back. He's gonna win. He's there. Yeah, let's go watch somebody fighting. It's the same car fighting anyway. It looks the same. So
Yep, it does. So let's see. Let's find our closest match. Right now, looks like Artem looking to get Boonstra. Currently.
Oh, that
A little
all
further
depends
back.
on how she gets out of the next couple turns here.
Okay, with 2 people sitting in the pits, maybe they didn't quite fuel enough since we're here at the end of the race.
Oh, he's going down the inside. Just a little bit of a look there. I don't think that helped him set up this run, though.
no, definitely not.
Yeah, so realistically here, Selena's only got to defend through the next couple turns. If she can set up the turn 6, turn 7 onto the main straight well, which the Porsche is very good at doing, and if she can defend down from there, she will keep her place in the top 20.
Rife is under pressure here.
Yeah, he's under big pressure from Logan. I've been watching this. He's been about 2/10 off of his tail for the last little while. So.
Oh, good. He caught up like we told him to.
Yep. So we'll see what he can do here. There's Wheeler has won the race. If anyone's wondering, Victor Diaz gonna come back to take P2. Brian Anderson, the front of the screen here, you can see is rounding the last corner for P3 at 4 and 5. Logan's gonna make a last ditch effort around the outside. Doesn't have enough space, so that's he can come home P4, P5. Damiani behind him in 6. His pace dropped off towards the end, unfortunately for him. They're still
Looking
battling
for a
down
last
here for
second dive.
P12, P11. Yep, Coriel and Colton. Anastasi comes back. Royke, Anastasi, and Evan Kim bring it home.
It looks like Selena has managed to stay ahead down the Mistral, so that's looking good for her.
Yeah. Olhausen and Colton come around the finish line for P2 and P3 in silver.
Oh, that's a close finish in the back there.
Yeah.
And in the pack for P9, not P-Last because those are sitting in the pits, but Sky and LeMay are the last two in the fighting. Let's see, Douglas Mitchell looking to make a last-ditch effort to get
Ooh.
one spot.
Admin
Whoa!
abuse. Whoa! Somebody ran out of fuel.
Oh, and he's in
Wow.
two. He's
Is,
a happy boy.
weaving across the track penalty. That's a 5-second penalty. Doug.
Oh, talk about a Brown moment.
Wow. Who was that?
Fighting
Ran out of fuel.
tooth and nail, trying to make it just down the last turn to
Maxwell.
get onto the main straight.
Maxwell's rolling down. Someone should just go around and push him across the line.
He might make it. It might be downhill enough if you just wait. So technically cross the line in
Turn
the
it.
pits. I think
Go
that's
into
technically
neutral.
legal.
Going to neutral.
Get
No,
out,
he'll
push.
make it.
Get
He'll
out
make
and
it
push.
right now. Oh my God! Please make it. It's 2 feet. Come on.
He should
Oh, there
have
we
stayed on.
go.
Still
He
going.
made it.
He crossed this. He got the checkered flag. He got the checkered flag.
Yay! I should clap for that. Oh, man.
Oh, he almost he'll get a honorary membership to Blind Hand Racing.
Wow, that
This
was
is
a
their
boring
signature strategy
race.
here.
I don't know why we even were excited to get out
That
of the
was
out of
I want to
the
interview
summer
Evan.
break or something.
You want to interview Evan? You should
Yeah.
grab Evan.
I don't know where he is.
Oh. Well, I guess we should try. Is Wheeler available? Our race leader.
Ian Wheeler, Victor Diaz, who was P3? Anderson? Yes.
Yeah.
Andrew Rife is down there. If you want to grab him.
I kind of want to just go listen to
Wheeler.
what they're all talking about in the
Here's Wheeler.
the after race.
Should I steal Wheeler?
Yeah, bring him in.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
My apologies, everybody.
I think that was appropriate, though.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I think I did a lot better than I anticipated I would. D2 is typically a very competitive field, and qualifying ahead of the pack really meant I avoided all the lap 1 chaos, and that obviously worked in my favor after a short but hard fight with Damiani. So pretty excited about the win.
Well, congratulations. That's awesome. And you pretty much had like a clear field for at least the last half of the race then.
Yeah, I basically maintained the lead by after that fight with lap 1. I pit at the 35-minute mark. The Mustang is not nice on the tires around here. I think it was pretty obvious too, because I know that Victor was gaining on me once he passed Damiani. He and I were both struggling with our tires, and he was taking a little bit out of me at a time. So I'm glad I built that lead ahead of time. But yeah, it was really just hot lapping for the hour, unfortunately. Or I guess it would maybe win easy.
Yeah, Damiani behind you in P2. He and Victor were battling for pretty much the 20 minutes after the pit stop. So probably helped you build up a buffer there. How did you feel going around the track and just lapping? What do you think?
The car feels really good, but then when it starts dropping off, it really is quite precipitous. So when I put a 53.9 on the board, I was pretty surprised by that, and then I knew I wouldn't ever be able to touch that again, and I was probably driving too hard. And so, overall, I was really focusing on just maintaining like a 54.5 and trying not to let Victor eat too much out of the gap that I had created. But it really felt good. I had the Mustang dialed in where I had just enough rear slip to help me take some of the sharper corners. And that was also, the negative side of that is that I was taking life out of the tires. But I think that kind of strategy is really what led me to build that gap and then just maintain the lead. So it felt really nice.
Yeah.
So it was relatively comfortable just pacing yourself to bring it home?
Yeah, honestly, I was having a lot of fun. I really like Paul Ricard. I'm one of the weird ones. It's probably one of my top tracks, and so I just enjoy hot lapping around here. So I was honestly having fun despite the lack of battles.
So
you
I don't
ready to
know
get
if you
back to
know
D1
this.
or?
Yeah, a lot of people in chat are asking if you are ready for D1 again.
So I have already been informed and asked the question by some SRA admins who will remain unnamed. How do I feel about racing on Tuesdays? So, it was nice to go out D2 with a bang. And I'll see you as a back marker in D1 because I am not going to be nearly as competitive.
Yeah.
Ian, I
Well,
will say you're gonna want to watch the stream back and see what you missed.
Oh
yeah.
yes, yeah, I am looking forward to seeing the carnage. Unfortunately, my teammate was caught up in that, and I ended up lapping him, Cody Platt, on second to last lap. So really unfortunate. He was going to have a really strong race. He had really good showing for like a top 10 when we were practicing together. So it's just really unfortunate. But hopefully, this is just the first race of the season. Cobwebs as everybody's getting used to battling so closely with one another, and as penalties come down, I know the admins here and the stewards are harsh but just, right? And so that's the kind of feedback that we want. So hopefully round 2, hopefully it stays cleaner.
Hopefully it does. Thank you for joining us and congratulations on your race win, the first race of the season. Hopefully you can stay in D2 and enjoy the rest of your season there.
Thank you very much. I hope so too.
Yep, thank you.
Take care.
You too.
Who
Well,
shall we get next?
I do not see Victor in any
Yeah.
place we can steal him from. He's hiding from us.
Mm-hmm.
So
Saw him earlier.
Might be
We
able to
can
get
steal
Andrew
Evan.
in. I mean, he certainly would have a lot to
yes,
say. I bet.
Yes. Let's do that.
He was fighting pretty much the entire race.
Huh?
Andrew, you're
Surprise.
kidnapped. Hey,
Uh,
Andrew. Looked like you had a really, really eventful race there.
oh my god, yeah, I think that would be putting it lightly. I
Yeah.
can't say I'm unhappy with the result. I mean, obviously it could have been better, but that could have gone a lot worse too.
Yeah, we were watching your battles for a lot of the race. How did the car feel out there?
The car felt very responsive. Turns 1 and 2 definitely were a bit more solid than I think I experienced in practice. I did a little bit of rake adjustment, so I think the rear end was more stable through there. My Sector 1 was very, very strong. Sector 2 was reasonably so. The big stickler for me this go around was Sector 3. That was where my qualifying definitely fell off as well. I did, I think, a 50.8 on my fastest lap, which is about 4/10 off of what I would run on a pretty, normal nominal lap in the practice. So my qualifying could have been a lot better. I could have been fighting up near the front from the start. But yeah, the race pace was strong, and I definitely had a lot of people pushing me to go faster. So I was happy with it.
Yep, we got quite a lot of your battles. Looks like it was a pretty intense race for you, especially that last half.
Yeah, the second stint was a bit of the inverse, I think, of the first stint. Brian Anderson, I was outpacing him on the first go around. He managed to get past me on pit strategy. And then from there, I was able to overtake him due to the Nissan straight line speed. I think you probably saw multiple times on the stream. I had just the right setup to stay in front of people when they were in my slipstream. And of course, when it was the other way around, I was getting moves done left and right. So it was the perfect setup for the car in this race because it wasn't quite enough in Sector 3. But Brian Anderson was on the back of me the whole time. You saw I was making a couple of mistakes here and again. So huge hats off to him. It was phenomenal racing. Even in the first stint, I actually got 2 of my track cuts very, very early on. And then in the beginning portions of Sector 2, I believe through the 4, 5, 6, 7 complex, we were really going at it. And I ended up pushing a little bit wide on the track, got my 3rd track cut because I couldn't stay on the track because we were side by side. He was on the inside. So it was an eventful race for us too. Huge hats off to him.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you guys definitely put on a show there between you, Brian, and Josh. Josh, who unfortunately was running P2 most of the race, and then he fell off at the end. Wish I could talk to him, but it's not around. Sam, anything you want to ask Andrew?
I mean, just how did the end of the Mistral feel like over and over and over when you're having those battles that are so close, taking the inside or outside? Which side did you think was best going around that turn?
I think I'd have to pick the outside because if you're on the inside, it's really difficult to judge exactly when the car on the outside is going to brake, right? And you are more, I would say, you are far more responsible for making sure that contact doesn't happen. And I think that was kind of reflected in most of the battles. I would choose the outside line. And of course, you can carry more speed. If you need to lift off, you can still bail out. But if you brake a little bit too late on the inside, then everything, well, for lack of better terms, it goes to shit, right? You hit the guy in the side. You might even get a little bit of a track cut. Things just generally don't go well for you, especially if you're not alongside into the braking zone. It's pretty much a non-move. You have to be basically front axle to front axle, in my opinion, to even consider going up the inside off of the back straight. So absolutely 100% the outside line. Thank you very much.
Thank you and congratulations on a what looked like a really great race from our perspective for you.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
the one incident I had there after overtaking Damiani for P3. We were talking in the post-race chat a little bit. He said I think he locked up a little bit, gave me a bit of contact, and thankfully I was able to save it.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate how his race ended up panning out. But yeah, he had a great drive to get up there in the first place. So unfortunate to see how it panned out for him.
So your car and your teammate's car, you both had a lot of airtime or screen time. Lots of entertainment there. Anybody you want to shout out?
Just the other drivers, really. Roy K. Glad I finally got to have a little bit of a fight with him. It didn't really culminate in a whole lot. I think the Nissan straight line speed kind of put him out of question earlier on. But I think for future weeks, it's granted if I'm able to race in the future weeks. I think in the future weeks it'll definitely be a little bit closer. Like I said, shout outs to Anderson. He was pushing me all race long. It was absolutely phenomenal driving. And shout out to you guys for hosting. It's really, really nice to be able to go back and look and see the commentary. So thanks a lot, guys.
You're welcome. You can kind of ignore the first little portion of the race. We had some technical glitches. It was trying to fumble through. So
Yeah,
but,
it does happen, but
yeah.
it's the first stream of the season. I'm sure it's fine.
I think a lot of the drivers had some glitches to fumble through as well.
that would be
Yeah.
worth watching the beginning just for that. So,
Yeah.
all the stuff
Yeah.
you missed in the back.
Yeah, no, just had a little bit of an issue with the cars disappearing off his screen, and the turn one incident we were going over in the race chat. It's a whole thing. Very glad I did not end up a part of that. Yeah.
I tried to use that excuse before. It didn't work.
Yeah. I will say, here's one thing to note too, is I did actually end up forgetting to tick because I ended up impacting the side of Anderson earlier on in the race in Sector 3. It was kind of an inconsequential bump, but I got 9/10 of a second of damage. And I forgot to untick the repair. So I did lose 9/10 in the pit unnecessarily.
Okay,
that,
okay.
if you put me 9/10 up the field, that's P3. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm
Mhm.
saying.
You heard it here.
Okay.
I should have been on the
washed.
podium. Should have been on the podium.
Get him back in D3 or can't handle it.
There might also be another potential reason if you go back and look why maybe I should have been on the podium, but we're just gonna ignore that for now. We're gonna ignore that. All right, that's not.
Yeah, no, he's not coming back to D3. I'm already far enough back in that field. He stays in D2.
All right. Yeah.
Right.
You guys got anything else for me, or?
No, we can send you back. Thank you for joining us up here, and
Thanks for having
again,
me.
congrats on a great race.
Thank you very much.
So,
We should get
I
Evan.
was thinking, I was like, yep, I want Evan. Get him up
I'm
here.
stealing Evan. Evan!
What's up, guys?
Hey, it's Faz, Stephanie, and Sam here. What kind of sandbags you have in that car?
I have no idea. I really didn't feel great in quali there. I think I was P13 or somewhere around there. And then, classic mistake, just not paying attention at all. Didn't hit drive for the grid, so ended up
Ouch.
starting from the pits. And it actually ended up kind of working out for me. It seemed like there was some mayhem there in turn one, right around where I would have been. So
Yeah. So
yeah, just had to keep the foot down. Ran the Lexus down that long straight and ended up P9, I think. So not bad.
You
Yeah.
went from a pit lane start to P9.
P42 to P9. I think that's a pretty good result there.
Yeah, no, I was
Yeah.
happy, but
It-
I really got pretty lucky. I think a lot of guys got very
So,
unlucky on that first lap.
yeah, definitely. We were watching those really nice Lexus liveries in qualifying going really close to each other down the straight.
Oh
Did
yeah,
that work out?
yes, it did, 100%. Me and Doug were we were giggling, pushing each other down the straight. That was a lot of fun, and yeah, I think it caught a couple of tenths for us over the field in quali there. Just
Yeah.
bump drafting each other. The first time I got a huge push from Doug, I actually kind of missed the corner at the end of the straight. Just went way deep and really wasn't ready for the speed. But then the second time around, I put in my my quali lap. It was pretty nice, pretty quick. I think my delta went up like 2 tenths going down the straight there.
Nice. Well, I think you get the award for most places up the field in this race for sure.
Oh yeah, the overtaking was so much fun. I was catching people, mostly on the straights, but I had a couple of nice ones in the twisties too. So I had a really eventful and really fun race. I don't really want to do another pit lane start this season. I'm gonna try not to, but I had a really good time tonight, and I'm glad it worked out.
Good. Yeah, I kept
Me-
trying to catch him, and like you'd be right there, and I'm like, okay, we got, and before I could get moved, you were already past him, and I was like, fine, okay, missed that one, so didn't get as many of your passes as we would have liked, but
Well, that's okay. I'm sure the rest
Yeah.
of the stream went pretty well for you guys. It seemed like a good race. There's a lot of action there.
yeah,
It-
yeah, there was.
Yep, there was a lot of action up and down the field. Maybe Monza would be an option for a pit lane start. Just saying.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea with the Lexus either, huh?
Yep.
Me and Doug
Yeah.
might do some qualifying shenanigans there too.
Yeah. How did the car feel today? Was it good? No
It
problems.
was great. It was really nice. What usually scares me with the Lexus is the behavior while trying to turn in and still being on the brakes, braking and turning at the same time. It likes to lock up the rear. But I don't know what we did with this setup, but Doug sent me one that felt absolutely money. I could drive it as hard as I wanted to, and it was still plenty smooth, really controllable. And yeah, we still maintained our top speed for the back straight, which was really nice.
Nice. Well, congratulations on the great result. Anybody you want to shout out, like maybe the whoever created the nice livery or anything like that?
Uh, yes. Thank you guys for the livery. It's absolutely beautiful. And thank you, Champion Motorsports. It's good to be back. It's also kind of weird being back, but those guys, we had a nice little debrief before the race, kind of getting each other hyped up and making sure we were all in the right headspace. And of course, shout out to my teammate Doug for having a good time, making it fun.
Well, thank you for joining us. Congrats on really was a great race.
Oh, thank you guys, and thank you for running the stream. That's much appreciated for all the drivers and friends and family. So thank you guys.
Wonderful. Our pleasure. All right. Well,
We've got Brian Anderson down there if you want to talk.
if you want to grab him, you can go ahead and grab him.
I will grab him. He is incoming.
Brian.
Hello.
So, how was that race for you?
That was one of the more intense races I've ever driven, honestly. No mistakes allowed. It was really hard. Driving behind that GTR and trying to overtake it, it was almost impossible, honestly. So unfortunately, sad to see that my teammate Josh got taken out right as they were battling. I mean, I got the point, but I'm really sorry to see that.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, we certainly got a lot of your battle on the stream. I'm sure that you were sweating bullets by the end of that race.
Yeah, I definitely need a shower now. It was intense.
How'd the car feel out there? We saw some other
Um,
drivers on the same car really struggling with the tires towards the end of
yeah,
stints
the
there.
tires, it was not great after the first half of each stint was fine, and then the second half it started sliding a lot. You couldn't get on power when you wanted to. So yeah, I'm glad we have the mandatory tire change, because it would have been absolute pain otherwise. But other than that, it was pretty good, pretty stable, apart from the extra slipping at the end.
So, Brian, after that race, and we know that Laguna might have some glitches, would you want to come back to Paul Ricard next week? Get some more stress.
I vote Bathurst, so there's my vote if it counts.
Yeah, it's less stressful there.
Oh yeah, it's so calm. I love it.
Yep. But a wet Bathurst, right?
Obviously, at night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us up here. Congratulations on it was a great race.
Yeah, it was really fun. Thank you for commentating, and see you all next week, hopefully.
Yep. See you next week.
And I
Okay.
believe
I think that's it.
that's it. That will conclude the first race of season 12 for Division 2. Thank you everyone for joining us.
You guys have the sponsor ad read
Yes,
pulled up?
I don't have it pulled up, but
I think I have it. I can take care of that.
all right. I was about to say we were do want to give a shout out to our sponsors that keep everything running here at SRA, and I will let you finish that one out.
Yeah, and also, stick around and listen if you are still watching, or if you're looking back at this stream. We do have some new sponsors that come out seemingly every season. So a huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and the title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favorite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer, that's TRAK. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout, SRATE, to support us. And Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. And believe me, it does change the experience. We have AT3D Sim Shop. That is AT3D. Upgrade your sim racing experience with premium 3D printed accessories, featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style. Elevate every lap with top-tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. And of course, Go Setups, premium esports setups for everyone. Use our affiliate link on our Discord to take your drive to the next level. We have Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specializing in handmade Harry Potter, fantastic beasts that have beaks maybe, and Fairy World collectibles, magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decor, costumery, cosplay, and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets the magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron. And our new one for this year, or this season, KP Concepts, your source for custom automotive renderings, graphic design, and printing. Remember, we spend countless hours making you look good for the spectacle. Check out kpconcepts.com for more. And that's it.
That's it. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you for joining us. And we hope to see you next week, where we will be racing at Laguna Seca.
Potentially.
Potentially.